Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 14 tells us this, says, the mind of the intelligent, or the one of understanding, the mind of the intelligent seeks knowledge. You know, it's an interesting thing. They're already intelligent, but you know why they're intelligent? They're intelligent because they seek knowledge. And the reason why they have understanding, the reason why they have intelligence within them is because they're always wanting to learn. They're always wanting to know. They're always wanting to increase in their understanding. They're always wanting to increase in their knowledge. They're always wanting to increase in their understanding of the way things are. And so as we begin to take a look at that, you know, somebody that has an understanding of the Word of God, somebody that has intelligence in the Word of God, the more they know of the Word of God, the more they're going to want to know of the Word of God. You know, I've heard people say before, you know, I don't need to hear the gospel because that's just for lost people and I'm already saved. Well, friends, I want you to understand, as a Christian, as a child of God, the more that you know of the gospel, the more you're going to want to know of the gospel. And this gospel is so deep, we're never going to fully comprehend all of it. Now, it's simplistic enough that even a child can come to faith in Jesus Christ, but it's very deep. And the more you understand the gospel, the more you're going to want to know about it. The more you understand of God, we'll never fully comprehend God until we know just as we're fully known. We're never going to be able to fully comprehend Him in this life, but the more we know of Him, the more we're going to want to know of Him. The more we're going to seek out the Word of God, the more we're going to want to hear the teaching and the preaching of the Word of God, the more we're going to want to surround ourselves with godly people so that they can invest their knowledge of the Word of God and of godly wisdom within our life. As we look there at the Word of God, the mind of the intelligent seeks knowledge. To seek the knowledge of the Word of God and the gospel and God Himself is intelligent. To not do it is extraordinarily foolish. So the wise are going to seek more and more and more knowledge. You can never have enough knowledge of the Word of God, of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and of God Himself. The Bible continues to go on right here and say in verse 14, it says, but the mouth of fools feed on folly. The mouth of fools feed on folly, because they don't know truth and because they don't have an understanding, a foundation of the truths of the Word of God, a foundation of the gospel, a foundation of God Himself. They're going to feed on folly. And so they hear those false doctrines, they hear those false teachings. And by the way, people say, well, let's just do away with doctrine. Well, that's foolishness all by itself, because doctrine is teaching, and we have to have teaching. In fact, the Bible tells us to teach. And so when we look at that, the wise person, the intellectual person, the one with understanding, they're going to want more and more and more doctrine. They're going to want more and more and more teaching. The foolish one, he's just going to listen to fools. He don't care if it's from the Word of God. He don't care if it's from anybody else. He'll take it from anybody. He'll take it from fools and receive it as gospel, although it is not gospel. Gospel is good news. But the word from the fools is not only not good news, it is horrible news. It's news that leads to damnation. And the reason why they so wholeheartedly accept it is because they don't have a true understanding of the Word of God. And so, friends, we need to understand the Word of God, and the only way that we're going to understand it is to get in it. Have other people teach it to us as well. Be involved in a church. Go to Sunday school. Go to Bible study. Get plugged in. Be involved. And allow the Word of God to be implanted within your heart more and more and more. Friends, that's wisdom.